I know that Maddie has not had any conversations with her dad. She's not called him. She doesn't have any relationship with Robin. She's pretty much written them both off.
Hey everyone, I'm back. I did not mean to be gone for quite this long, but life has been happening. And you know, life happens. In the meantime, season 19 of Sister Wives is on air. We're back in this world. And I was really up to the last minute, like, am I gonna watch this? It was like 9:57 p.m. on Sunday night. I was like, you know what? I am gonna watch it because I always watch this show and I'm pretty far into the story, so let me see how this all works out. There was one moment in this episode that really stood out to me, and I want to talk about it with you.
Let's talk about Maddie.
I won't talk about her.
You won't?
Nope.
Okay.
Now, Kody Brown has been willing to act a fool on TV for many, many years. But something in that moment that we just saw, something changed. He didn't throw out any disparaging comments about his family. He didn't throw Janelle and Christine under the bus. He didn't throw Madison under the bus. I don't know if that way that his body language changed. I don't know. Was that shame showing up? Was that regret, nervousness? I don't know. But physically something changed. When the topic of his daughter Madison came up, Kody Brown didn't have anything to say. Now, Janelle went on to talk a little bit more about the relationship between Kody and Madison.
She doesn't really want him to have any contact unless he can commit to a consistent presence.
So Janelle says that Madison doesn't want to have a relationship with her father, Kody, unless he can commit to a consistent presence. Okay, what exactly does that mean? Back in November of 2023, so almost a year ago, Madison was interviewed for a podcast called Somewhat Basic. And I was gonna make a joke about being on a podcast called Somewhat Basic, but the truth is my channel's called Everyday Candace. And so I think it's the same vibe. It's just everyday regular stuff. And there happens to be a star of a reality show on it. So maybe she's just embracing being somewhat basic, which I think she is. Further in the interview, we hear she is totally embracing it. Anyway, in the beginning of the interview, Madison talked about how great it was to live near her parents and her siblings when she had her first child, Axel.
And I lived close to my family at that point. So it was also a lot of times my mom and I would go eat and Caleb would come with us, or Caleb and I would go eat and my dad would come with us or something. And so it was Axel was the first grandkid. There was a lot of adult hands helping, so it was easier.
Also, I'm seeing all there's too much light. Y'all can see too much now. All the dust and the gray hairs. Okay, anyway, in the interview, Maddie was talking about how great it was to be near her family after she had her first child. From what Maddie says, it really was lovely until Caleb's job took them to North Carolina and they had to do this work of finding new supports and building a new community.
I always tell Caleb, I'm grateful because I feel like God moved us here. And I remember feeling so lonely when we moved here and what are we doing? And angry. But I stepped into my own person and my own motherhood.
She recognizes that this move to North Carolina was maybe a real blessing from God.
Obviously, my family is falling apart on TV. It's not a secret. You can see it. Watch an hour of the episodes.
And I'm sure for years, probably many years before we knew it, Maddie knew that her family was falling apart. She knew that things were never going to be as easy or straightforward as they were before season 1 ever aired on TV. So if you Google Maddie Kody relationship or Maddie Caleb Kody, anything like that, you'll find a long list of Reddit threads and articles and even videos maybe videos like this that are trying to pinpoint that moment. That moment when Maddie went from Kody's golden child to just another child that he doesn't talk to anymore. And you know what? There is a part of me that wanted or anticipated that this would be one of those videos. Because I love to look at the details. And if we could just look at every interaction that Maddie and Kody ever had together, maybe we could find the one. This is the one where their relationship just started to fall apart. And all of a sudden the story would just open up and we would just understand this complicated dynamic. But as I started like looking up scenes for that, I realized that that sucks. That stinks. To feel like you can't call your dad, you know, like you can't count on him when you need him. I imagine that's a terrible feeling. And then to have thousands or millions of people around the world analyzing and discussing your relationship, trying to find that moment, I imagine that would feel even worse. I think it would be even harder if your father is a raging narcissist and all 5 of your parents are on TV every week spilling all the family secrets. So forgive me if I don't really find value in going too far in understanding the relationship between Kody and Maddie, at least not right in this moment. But one part that I can confidently say is a mess is this one.
I don't understand why Cody's not reaching out to Madison or some of the other kids. I know he's in a very angry and hurt place, but he should just be putting in the effort. But I think the kids should be doing the same thing too.
I really think TLC put that clip in there to stir the pot. For real, any of the moms could have commented on the relationship between Kody and Maddie. Any one of them would have had something valuable to contribute, but they chose to air the wife that none of us want to hear from, especially regarding the relationship between Kody and his children. Nobody wants to hear what Robin has to say about that. In light of the tragedy that this family has recently experienced, I think it was a little heartless of TLC to leave this final word on Kody and Maddie's relationship up to the mom that is at the center of so much sadness and pain in this family. On the bright side, if you follow Janelle on social media, then you know she does not let distance come between her and her grandchildren. No, that lady stays on a plane. She stays either in North Carolina on her way to North Carolina, or she's just coming back from North Carolina. She is going to spend time with Madison and her family. And in this most recent episode now, Maddie talked about, like, what were they talking about? Building a property out in Montana or something. I was surprised to hear that because in this interview that I think was recorded in 2000, like a year ago, Maddie says that she's never moving. It's very clear in this podcast interview, she does not want to do that because she experienced that. She said Kody was restless. Kody moved around even more than they needed to, and she hated it. She hated it, and she does not want to do that to her kids. So that was just one moment that stood out to me. Kody Brown not being willing to act a fool around about his daughter Madison. I am conflicted. I'm interested in this story, but I don't want it to be aired. I do have sympathy for Madison. She doesn't want this. She's not enjoying this. This is not helping her family. She recognizes it. Haven't they been through enough? Haven't they been through enough? It's clear that TLC is not going to protect them. They have to protect themselves. And that's messed up, y'all. If you got a job that's tearing your family apart and the job don't care that they're tearing you apart, like maybe just make less money and don't do the job. Don't do that job. Get a new job. I don't know. Is that like naive of me to say that? Your job is not ever going to be more important than your family. I don't know why they don't get that. And at the same time, I'm going to keep watching. It's nonsense, though. Do we care? We're going to meet David. They're going to go on their first date or whatever. Y'all, they're married. That was aired on TLC. I saw it with my own eyes. They all over People magazine. This show is wild. It's funny and like absurd. But also it does like bring up a lot of good points. I mean, it just demonstrates the trauma of having your family on TV. And, you know, just like a personal, you know, just between friends. I tried that for a minute. As I was thinking about shifting this channel to like a more just everyday Candace, my life, regardless, like without watching TV, and just like my life, sharing my life. So much of my life is about my kids. That's just truth. So I had videos that my kids are in, and that felt terrible. I never like put my kids in a bad light. I never made them like, I never showed them in a way that I thought they would be embarrassed. But even still, showing them, even in these like little 5, 7, 10-minute videos, it felt weird. I didn't like it. Part of me does feel like that's a worthy conversation. In order to put your kids on TV for years, the like internal stuff you gotta put to the side, you gotta pretend doesn't exist, you gotta like put your blinders on and say like, well, I'm willing to damage everything if I can just get them this money. That's unfortunate. And that is one of the challenges that I have in supporting any of the wives or Kody on the show. It's like, they all did that. They all agreed to be on this show. They all saw the damage that it was having on their family, and they kept doing it for the check. That's messed up. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I do feel like I would love to have that conversation. I would continue to have that conversation with you all. Like, putting your family on reality TV is not the business. It's not a good way to be. It's not. I usually don't try to come out like so judgmental, but like, that's not a great idea. And that's what I think. It's not great. Anyway, let me know. What did you think of season 19, episode 1 of Sister Wives? Did you enjoy it? I've read a lot of like comments about the episode. I don't see many people saying that they enjoyed it. They watch it because maybe like me, they just have always watched it. But I don't know. Did you enjoy it? Let me know. If you did, what did you enjoy about it? Did you have challenges with it like I did? Where it's like, oh my gosh, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. All right, let me know. In the meantime, I need to find, for my next video, I'm going to find a different place to sit. This is like too much light. I can see every bit of dust on my shirt. I can see every gray hair on my head. I turned 43 last week, so I guess the gray hair is inevitable. And that's fine. It's fine. It's life. I'm lucky to be alive, and I'm lucky to be here. Every day is a blessing. You guys are a blessing. Thank you for being here. Let's meet in the comments, and we'll keep this conversation going, and then I'll see you in my next video. All right, take care. Bye.